Hey guys, hey, today we're going to paint a shad wrap or flicker shad minnow style lure. Before we do, I want to discuss with you a couple things that I do to prepare to get ready to paint each time, especially now that we're getting into winter. Some of you might be in the same situation I am. Maybe you're painting in your garage, got a spot in your basement, or maybe you got a he shed in the backyard where you do your stuff. This room where I'm painting here, I used to heat this full time, but I just decided I don't spend enough time here. So now I want to come out and I want to get ready to paint. I kick on the heat, I got another cup of coffee, I come back and we're ready to go. But that leads to a few things that maybe are a little different in the wintertime than in the summer. One, paints. I keep no paints out here. I don't store any of my paints in this room. They're in my main house where it's warmer, so I don't have to warm those up. The blanks we're going to paint, they're going to be a little cold sitting out here. That one's not too tough. I just get the heat gun, run the heat gun over it for a little bit, warm it up a little, and that works fine. The main one is a sprayer. In order to get spray, it sits out here, it's metal, everything's cold. So what I do in that situation, you've seen, if you watch the videos, you've seen me use that squirt bottle with water to clean out the spray gun. So what I do is I fill that up with hot water before I come out here, and I run water through there. I'll spray it out, I'll fill the deal up, spray it, back flush it, pour it out, put in more hot water. I'll do that 3 or 4 times, and by the time I'm done, it's nice and warm, and I have no problems. The paint's going to run through there very easy. So that's a few of the things I do before I get ready to paint, and if you're painting in cold conditions, maybe that's a few things you can do too. All right, let's get this thing painted. All right, we're going to start out with our base coat. Hey, first thing I want to take notice of something. As I'm painting these lures, take a look. See a little paint here? Looks a little, boy, there's a little yellow stuff. You know why that is? It's because I painted this entire lure. I got done with it. I looked at that and I thought, my God, that's the ugliest thing in the world. I took it in the kitchen sink. I scrubbed off the paint real quick. And here I am back. And we're going to try it again. So this is take 2 on this lure. And we will start out just putting our base coat on. Always want to put the base coat so the colors come out right. Get around that tail, get under that nose. There we go. Got that done, and for that we use the Createx Opaque White. And gosh, at this point it looks just like it did about 10 minutes ago when I painted this first time. Alright, let me clean this up, move on some colors. Start out on the belly. Createx Pearlized Lime. So we're going to put a pearl lime belly. Just one run right up the middle of it. I don't want to go up sides. That's it. That was simple. That was easy. That's not where I screwed up on the first one. And yeah, stick with me and I'll show you how I messed up the first one. Let me clean this out now. We got to move on to the next one here. We get a little farther and I'll show you the screw up. Clean that out a little. So you can see I'm just using water. A lot of people use commercial cleaners. You can do that too. I just try a little water. Alright, Createx Transparent Bright Yellow. That's our next color. Now, just going to cover the whole thing. We don't need the belly, but I will not paint the head. I'm going to leave the head alone. That's it. That's all there is to that. All right, now let me get it cleaned up some more and we'll move on to another color. All right, we need to paint that head. So we're going Createx Transparent Bright Red. I also want a little bit underneath on the front of it here. So we're going to do there in the head. Let's tone this down just a little bit. I've been running this right at 40 pounds of pressure. Let me get it down a little bit. We don't need quite that much here for this. All right, we'll put about 25 pounds now. We're going to put stuff mainly on the bill. That way we don't go back too far. Now we'll do the head, and again we're going to spray mainly up in here and let it just go back to the head. And there we are. Now, one more thing. I'm going to come back on the tail, right here at the very end of the tail. Going to put a little bit of spot right there. I'm not even going to go up around the sides. And this time, this is where we're going to stop. Because the first time, I did this. And I thought that looked real ugly when I got done with that. So I thought, nope, we're not doing that. Took it in, cleaned it off. All right, we're back here with this. Now, we need to dry this really well, and then we're going to move on and do a stencil to put some markings on the side. All right, move this over to the helping hand so we can put on the stencil. Now, we're going to use one of these stencil types that I picked up from Lure Parts online. I've showed you a few of those, but I made a few modifications to this one. This is called the Jerkbait Lure Stencil, standard minnow jerkbait style tiger stripes. The key is for jerkbait are a lot bigger than these. So as we can see, here's all of our markings. You see it's way too big for this lure, so we just took a little masking tape. I took off the first 6 big ones, and then I ran across the top to shorten these down, make them a little smaller. Did that for both sides. So let's see what we get. Basic thing with being smaller, should have a little easier time getting it set in here good and holding it in. There we go. You can see a little bit fuzzier there. Notice I wasn't holding down quite as good on the back. Our 2 little spots here showed up too. That's okay. Fish won't care. Oh, I need to soften this thing up. Get that thing to move easier. That's for sure. All right. See if we can do that again. And here's the problem I run into. This is what's giving me. Let's see if we can do it without. I wonder if I can do it without that. I don't think I can. Now, I won't be able to. The problem I'm running into here is I want to hold that down better, and this is hitting. So that's what's not allowing me to hold that as well as I'd like. Kind of getting in my way just a little bit. But we got it. Still a little fuzzy there. This is getting in the way of that. You know, down the line, as you use these more, maybe you can trim them just a little bit. Trim that out of your way. That might help a little bit there. But, let me get it back on the, sorry about that, get that back on. There we go. That's not too bad. Considering this is made for a big one, and we use it on a little. There's our little black spots on this side. You can see I moved it a little. I didn't get them on that side. All right. Set of eyes. I think I've either got some silver eyes or maybe yellow. We'll see. Definitely not red because we got a red head. Get a set of eyes and a top coat and we'll see what we got. Well, there we go, guys. We're going to call that one our Sunshine Tiger. And you know, you can see with the stencil, sometimes they're not totally perfect using the stencil, but then again, I only paid $1.99 for the stencil, so what do you expect? But it only took me 2 times to get it right, and I think it's said and done, we got one that might catch a fish. Thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to the channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.